Welcome back, everyone. Today's topic is one that starts arguments in almost every cybersecurity community. Is CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, still worth it in 2026? I've seen people say it's completely outdated. Others say it's the best certification for beginners. Some recruiters still ask for it. Some professionals tell you to skip it entirely. Honestly, if you're just starting your cybersecurity journey, this can be incredibly confusing. So today, let's settle this once and for all. Is CEH actually worth your money, or is there something better?
That's honestly one of the most common questions I receive. And here's the interesting part. There isn't a simple yes or no. Whether CEH is worth it depends completely on what you're trying to achieve. If your goal is to become a government employee or work for organizations that specifically require certifications, then CEH can still have value. But if your goal is simply learning how to hack or becoming a penetration tester, there are much better options today.
Wait, really? So you're saying the certification itself isn't bad. It's just people expect the wrong things from it?
Exactly. That's where most beginners make a mistake. They think if I complete CEH, companies will automatically hire me. Unfortunately, that's not how hiring works anymore. Recruiters today look for something much bigger. Skills, projects, practical labs, GitHub, CTFs, real-world experience. Those things impress employers much more than simply passing one exam.
That actually makes sense. Because I've noticed something. I know people with 5 certifications who still struggle to get interviews. But then I also know someone with almost no certifications who landed a SOC Analyst job. How does that happen?
Because certifications only answer one question. Did this person study? But interviews ask a completely different question. Can this person actually solve problems? Imagine you're interviewing 2 candidates. One says, I have CEH. The other says, I built a home SOC using Splunk. I investigated phishing attacks. I detected malware. I documented every incident on GitHub. Which one would you hire? Exactly.
Honestly, that's not even a competition. I'd choose the second person too. So, does that mean beginners shouldn't study CEH at all?
Not necessarily. If someone else is paying for it, or your employer requires it, go ahead. It provides a broad introduction to cybersecurity concepts. But I wouldn't recommend spending thousands of dollars on CEH if that's your only learning plan. That's where people lose time and money.
Then let's say I'm completely new, I've never worked in cybersecurity, I have limited money. Where would you spend that budget instead?
That's the question people should be asking. Instead of buying an expensive certification immediately, I'd invest in practical platforms. TryHackMe, Hack the Box Academy, Portswigger Web Security Academy, Over the Wire, Blue Team Labs Online. These platforms force you to actually solve problems. You don't just read, you do. And that's how real skills develop.
So basically, practice first, certification second?
Exactly. Think of certifications as proof, not preparation. Preparation comes from practice. Proof comes later. Most beginners reverse that order, and that's why they stay stuck.
I think that's one of the biggest lessons from today's discussion. Because social media makes it look like collecting certifications equals success, but that's clearly not true anymore.
Not anymore. Today's cybersecurity industry rewards people who can demonstrate ability, show your projects, write blogs, document labs, upload walkthroughs, share your learning journey. Those things build credibility much faster than another certificate sitting in a PDF folder.
Before we wrap up, I have one final question. If someone watching has around $500 and can only choose one, CEH or practical training?
Without hesitation, practical training. Build skills first, then earn certifications that support those skills. That's the strategy that works in today's hiring market, not the other way around.
I think that's where social media confuses people. Every day I see someone posting, I got CEH, I got Security Plus, I got another certification. But we rarely see the months they spent actually building skills. Do you think beginners are focusing too much on collecting certificates instead of becoming good at cybersecurity?
Absolutely. And that's what I call the certification trap. People feel productive because they're always studying, but studying without practicing creates confidence on paper, not confidence during an interview. The keyboard teaches more than the textbook ever will.
So if someone starts today, what would your first 6 months actually look like? Not certifications, an actual roadmap.
I'd keep it simple. First, learn networking and Linux. Then, understand operating systems. After that, start solving TryHackMe rooms. Build a small home lab. Learn basic scripting with Python. Document everything on GitHub. And only after you've built real skills, think about certifications that match your career path. That's a roadmap that actually gets results.
I like that. Instead of asking, which certification should I buy, people should start asking, what skills should I build next? That's a completely different mindset.
Exactly. Because companies don't hire certificates. They hire people who can solve problems. If you become genuinely skilled, the right certifications become an advantage. But without skills, even the best certification can't save a weak interview. That's the difference every beginner needs to understand.
Can I ask you something that might sound a little controversial? If certifications aren't the biggest factor anymore, why do so many training institutes advertise them like they're guaranteed job offers? Every thumbnail says, get CEH and earn 15 LPA. Become an ethical hacker in 90 days. Guaranteed placement. Is that just marketing? Or is there some truth behind it?
That's probably the most important question we've discussed today. Look, certifications are products. Training institutes sell courses. Certification providers sell exams. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The problem starts when people believe buying a course is the same as building a career. Those are two completely different things. Cybersecurity isn't like memorizing answers for an exam. Every single day, new vulnerabilities are discovered. Attack techniques evolve. Cloud platforms change. AI is changing how attackers operate. So if your learning stops after getting one certificate, you're already falling behind. The people who succeed in cybersecurity never really stop learning. That's the mindset employers are looking for.
That actually explains something I've noticed. When I watch experienced cybersecurity professionals on YouTube or LinkedIn, they almost never introduce themselves by saying, I have this certification. Instead, they talk about incidents they've investigated, tools they've built, or bug bounties they've reported. It's almost like their work speaks louder than their certificates. Would you say that's accurate?
100%. Let me give you an example. Imagine two candidates walk into the same interview. The first candidate says, I've completed CEH, Security Plus, and another 5 certifications. That's good. It shows commitment. Now, the second candidate says, I built my own SOC lab using Wazoo. I analyzed ransomware logs. I detected phishing attacks. I created Sigma detection rules. I automated log parsing with Python. Here's my GitHub. Which conversation do you think lasts longer? Exactly, because interviews aren't about proving you can study. They're about proving you can think. The interviewer wants evidence, not just certificates. And that's why practical experience wins almost every single time.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from today's episode. Instead of chasing certificates, people should chase skills. Instead of asking, what exam should I take next? They should ask, what problem can I solve next? That one question alone can completely change someone's cybersecurity career.
Exactly. And here's one final piece of advice for everyone watching. Don't compare yourself to someone who's been learning cybersecurity for 5 years. Compare yourself to the person you were last month. If today you understand networking a little better, you solved one more TryHackMe room, you wrote one more Python script, or you documented one more project, you're already moving forward. Cybersecurity isn't a sprint. It's a long-term career. Focus on becoming better every week, and the opportunities will eventually find you. That's the strategy that has worked for thousands of professionals, and it'll work for you too.
I love that answer. So CEH isn't useless, but it's definitely not a magic ticket into cybersecurity. Real projects, real labs, and consistent practice are what actually get people hired. If you learned something today, subscribe for more cybersecurity discussions. And let us know in the comments, which certification should we talk about next? We'll see you in the next episode.